Do you think you have what it takes to master the Starfall Knight Granger? Well, guess what? You guys came to the right place. Today, we're going to go over all the basics of Granger, the builds, rotations, and his skills and combos. If you guys are interested in a free skin for Granger or the free hero himself, make sure you guys drop your favorite marksman in the comments below, as well as liking and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed today's content, and let's get into the dojo.
Welcome to the jungle.
So pros for the Starfall Knight Granger. He's good for single target damage, good for range damage, good for jungle, gank with range, has blink and good mobility, good poke, and burst damage. The cons for the Starfall Knight are first skill only can shoot in one direction and has no CC skills. This is the best emblems that we currently run on Granger. Works for every situation. Go with agility for the movement speed, evasion for that good physical pin, and killing spree so you can get additional health upon killing multiple heroes. This is the build we currently use with the Starfall Knight Granger. We start off with warrior tough boots based on the enemy's output of physical or magical attack. Then we go on to the war axe, then get a little bit more defense with brute force breastplate, finish with high blade of despair, high physical attack, then endless battle, and then hunter strike because that's one of Granger's core items as jungler. This also works if you want to use him on the off lane as well. Okay, and it's time to get into Granger's skills. His passive, Caprice, deals additional damage for every 6 shot fired. And what does that look like? As you can see below Granger's health bar, there's a chamber of 6 bullets, as the very last bullet is purple. Basically, you just keep firing your basic attack down to that purple chamber, and then you let it off and it does additional physical damage. Okay guys, and it's time to get into Granger's first skill, Rhapsody. Granger fills his gun with all bullets and shoots them forward. Each bullet does physical damage to the enemies. This skill is directional, meaning it can only shoot in one direction. A way to get around this is if you feel like you missed a shot, kind of straight back and forth to try and guess where the enemy's moving. That way your additional shots will hit them. As if you stand still, your bullets are only going to go in a straight line. Now, if you kind of strafe left to right as you're shooting it, you can kind of move with your enemy and guess where they're going to run. That way you can continue to hit them, which would look like this. Okay guys, so now we're going to get into Granger's second skill. His second skill is a blink, also known as a dash, that can either close in on the enemy or get away from the enemy, but it also puts additional damage on the next 2 bullets from your basic attack shot after the dash. Okay guys, it is time to get into Granger's ultimate, Death Sonata. Granger transforms his weapon into a violin super cannon and fills it with all his bullets. He then shoots 2 bullets forward at a time. Basically what this looks like is it's a 3-part attack. You shoot 2 bullets at a time. There's 2 bullets, and you move where you want to dash to. 2 bullets again, then you aim where you want to dash to again, and 2 bullets for the 3rd time. Now with this skill, there is a trick to it where you can actually fast proc it to where you can kind of get away without having to do the dashes. And what would that look like? Basically, you'd have to find any hard structure in the game, and you would just hard press on it like this, and then spam your ult. What that would do in turn would constantly shoot those ultimate bullets at the enemy without having a dash. But you have to be careful on what hard structure you're actually hard pressing on, as if you press on like a structure like this, you might actually blink through it instead of staying on it to cancel the dash. This is what it would look like in short. This is what Granger's ult would look like if you press on a structure that's not hard enough and that you would possibly just blink through. Okay, so now that we've gone over all of his skills, his passive, and what it actually does, it's time to put it all together to figure out the best combo for Granger. And what does that look like? Let's go ahead and test it out right now. So currently when I use Granger, basically I try and get down to my last 2 bullets, and then I'll go ahead and use my second skill for the dash, and then get the additional damage from those last 2 bullets. Once you do that, your second skill will be on cooldown, and that's when you want to prop your first skill and go ahead and reduce the cooldown rate of your second skill. So the combo would be basic attack all the way down to your last 2 bullets, blink, go ahead and use the last 2 bullets for additional damage, then refill your cooldown rate of second skill by using your first. That way your cooldown rate of second skill will almost be over to where you can blink again and do an additional 2 more shots for additional damage, and you can kind of decide where you want to do the damage there. I usually try and save it for my last 2 bullets, but sometimes depending on how close the enemy is to dying, I might just spam and hit the blink as soon as possible and go ahead and do that additional damage. Now, when would you use ult? Ult is kind of situational, man. You can use ult when people are grouped up and they're low on health, or if an enemy's trying to run away, you can kind of chase them down with your ult, but you have to remember to time it. Precision is key with Granger. Some last minute tips I have is for Granger, you can definitely use his blink skill for mobility to get out of some really tricky situations. Another thing that I would use is flicker for the battle spell as well to get a little bit more range for mobility. So you can definitely get away with your blink and with your flicker. And that pretty much sums up the Granger Starfall Night. If anybody has any questions, feel free to message me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's guide. Thank you so much for watching. God bless and look forward to future content.